Throughout the Middle Ages, if you were left-handed, you might have been seen as the literal embodiment of a witch or the devil. Even the modern English word sinister, which means evil or threatening, comes from an ancient Latin root that simply meant one thing: the left hand. This stigma was so massive that society tried everything to erase it. But evolutionary science has uncovered a paradoxical truth. If it weren't for left-handed people, there is a very good chance you wouldn't be sitting here today. To understand why, we need to look at a single number: 10%. For over 50,000 years, no matter the era, the country, or the culture, the proportion of left-handed people on Earth has remained stubbornly fixed at approximately 10%. From an evolutionary standpoint, this is highly unusual. Think about it. This world was built by right-handed people, for right-handed people. In a primitive society, using tools designed against your natural instinct was a major disadvantage. You were more accident-prone. You processed tasks slower. And in the unforgiving wilderness of the ancient world, a single second of delay meant death. According to Charles Darwin's laws of natural selection, biological traits that disadvantage an organism are gradually weeded out over generations. If being left-handed was a flaw that made humans less adaptable, it should have vanished tens of thousands of years ago. But it didn't. It fiercely persisted, passed down from one generation to the next, like a secret encrypted code fiercely protected deep within human DNA. So why did nature so stubbornly hold on to this 10%? The answer began to surface when anthropologists stopped looking at survival tools and started looking at weapons of war. In 2004, two French researchers, Charlotte Fourie and Michel Raymond, published a groundbreaking study in the scientific journal Proceedings of the Royal Society. They embedded themselves within hunter-gatherer societies, communities still living the primal lifestyle of our ancestors. They wanted to test a concept known as the fighting hypothesis. What they discovered completely changed how we look at left-handedness. In societies with high rates of violence, where hand-to-hand combat between rival tribes was frequent, the number of left-handed individuals spiked dramatically. Why? Imagine you are a prehistoric, right-handed warrior. 90% of the enemies you face in your lifetime are also right-handed. Your brain is hardwired to defend against attacks coming from your opponent's right side. You know the trajectory of the axe. You can anticipate the thrust of the spear. You act on pure muscle memory. But then, one day, a warrior steps out from an enemy tribe. He holds his weapon in his left hand. The moment you clash, your defense system completely glitched. To you, every single one of his movements feels inverted. He strikes from an angle you have never trained to block. He hits your exposed flank. Conversely, the left-handed warrior is completely in control. He is already deeply accustomed to fighting right-handed opponents like you. In the ancient world, this element of surprise didn't just give you an edge, it gave you your life. Left-handed people possessed an invisible weapon in life-or-death combat. They had a higher survival rate in violent conflicts, giving them a better chance to reproduce and pass down their genetic code. But this raises another question. If being left-handed offered such a massive combat advantage, why didn't the ratio rise to 50%? Why didn't they become the majority? This is where the sheer elegance of nature comes into play. It operates on a mechanism called frequency-dependent selection. The advantage of being left-handed only exists as long as you are the minority. Imagine if the population of lefties rose to 50%. Suddenly, facing a left-handed opponent is no longer a surprise. Everyone would learn how to defend against left-side attacks. The moment the element of surprise vanishes, the biological advantage evaporates. Therefore, nature dialed in a perfect equilibrium at exactly 10%. This number is low enough for left-handed people to keep their secret weapon, but high enough to provide a strategic role for the survival of the entire tribe. And that strategic role goes far beyond just being elite warriors. Modern neuroscience has shown that the brains of left-handed individuals have a highly unique wiring structure. In right-handed people, the brain hemispheres tend to strictly divide tasks. The left brain handles logic and language, while the right brain processes visuals and emotion. But in left-handed people, the corpus callosum, the bundle of nerve fibers connecting the two hemispheres, is significantly larger and transfers information roughly 10% faster. What does this mean? Their brains possess a more holistic, multitasking processing capacity. They have superior spatial intelligence and a unique ability to find nonlinear solutions to highly complex problems. That is why, when looking back at the pages of human history, we find an astonishingly long list of unorthodox geniuses who were left-handed. From Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Isaac Newton to Albert Einstein and Marie Curie. These weren't just exceptional individuals. These were the people who single-handedly redirected the course of human civilization using perspectives no one else could conceive. Our ancestors survived millions of years of ice ages, apex predators, and mass cataclysms not because everyone in the tribe was identical. We survived because of diversity. The tribe needed healthy, right-handed people to build, farm, and maintain stability through numbers. But the tribe also desperately needed that 10% of outliers. The ones who could throw a punch from an impossible angle when the tribe was backed into a corner. The ones who could see a solution in a dead-end maze where the other 90% stood helpless. Today, when you see a left-handed person struggling to cut a piece of paper with standard scissors, you might think of it as a minor inconvenience. But it is not a flaw of nature. It is a resilient evolutionary monument. It is a reminder that running through the veins of 10% of the global population is the blood of the most elite warriors and creative minds of prehistory. The very people who shielded your ancestors in the darkness of ancient battles so that you would have the chance to stand here today. We tried to force them to conform to the majority for centuries. And we had absolutely no idea that their difference was the very thing that saved humanity.